Hey, this is Bishop WJ again with another episode, another segment with a powerful preacher, pastor. He's a little seasoned, and we thank God for that. And we want to hear from him, none other than Pastor Eddie Swain from the Canaan Baptist Church. God bless you.
Thank you for being here.
We're going to get this all kicked off. First of all, who is Pastor Eddie Swain?
I'm Pastor Eddie Swain from Canaan Missionary Baptist Church in Little Rock, Arkansas. I've been pastoring for only a year here in Little Rock, but I've been a travel evangelist for about 30 years.
Okay. Traveling evangelist.
Yes.
That's great. That's great. So, with your experience, what do you prefer, to be the traveling evangelist or the pastor?
Well, I would rather be a traveling evangelist because I feel that's my calling.
Yeah. Okay.
Being an evangelist. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's your calling.
That's my calling.
Okay. So you don't feel like the pastor is your calling?
Well, I'm actually substituting for the lack of a pastor at Canaan Baptist Church. We had a pastor about a year ago, but he resigned, and I was the only preacher left, so
Right.
I inherited the position.
All right. You was the right place at the right time.
Right place at the right time.
Amen. That's great. That's great. So let's talk. Our audience is built up of preachers, pastors, and this network is for the preachers, by the preachers. And so what would you say to a preacher, pastor, minister that's just now getting started or early in their ministry? What would the self now tell the younger self?
First of all, I would say be connected.
Okay.
You know, be connected to God and make sure
Right.
that you are in His will, in God's will, and that you're not doing something selfishly for your own aggrandizement.
Right.
Right.
I mean, that's a major thing because, we're into the flesh and the flesh, the pride of life.
Right.
To be boastful and to be seen and to be known. So you feel like that's really like a hindrance.
Sure.
Yeah. Talk to us about it.
Sure. Well, even in my own experience, I've never had the desire, to be the pastor because I was saved and called to ministry when I was 18 years old.
Oh man.
And my attitude was wait on the Lord and get directions from Him.
Right.
And then He would direct your path and make sure that you are on the right path. So it was not my desire to be a pastor because I felt that God had called me into the evangelism side of the ministry. It's one thing I feel about the church world is that when a preacher is called, especially in the Black Baptist Church,
That's what I called you for.
In the black church experience, when a preacher is called to ministry, because there are not a lot of avenues other than pastors for young preachers, and that's why a lot of the preachers, when they're called to preach, their goal and objective is to become pastor.
Right.
And the Black Circle has not really opened up different avenues for preachers to go in, such as evangelists, church administrators and things of that sort. And that's why you have a lot of...
That's a good, man. You open up a good thought.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
So, I'm a graduate of Arkansas Baptist, so I went to theology school with a lot of pastors and preachers, and I can kind of see with women and men. I see what you're saying. The objective of the minister is to become a pastor because there's no other alternatives.
Right,
You know,
right.
But I have friends that's chaplains and things like that for the prison and for the police and for the hospital. So, but it's not that many spots.
Not that many.
And then you got to have a lot of education.
That's true.
To be able to get into those arenas. So you feel like that's a lack, and we need to fix that.
We need to fix that. We need to fix that. And I think that over the years, we have really lost our spiritual connection. That's why the world is like it is now. Our communities are in uproars because our churches and our leadership is backwards.
Right.
And when we fix that, then a lot of our problems are going to be
You said our
eradicated.
leadership backwards.
Yes.
That's a profound statement.
Oh, yes, sir.
So what you mean by that?
By what now?
You said the leadership backwards.
The
What
leadership-
you mean by that?
The leadership, I'm talking about preachers, pastors, and church administrators, all across the board. You know, whatever our leadership capacity consists of. You know, as I think we have a lot to be desired when it comes to true leadership.
So I kind of follow what you're saying, but don't you also feel that the other pieces require resources?
Sure.
You got to have a resource
Absolutely.
to send an evangelist out.
Uh,
You know,
that-
to support an evangelist. You got to have a resource to have an established administrator.
That's
You know,
right.
you got to have the resources
You're right.
there to effectively operate.
That's right.
And I'm a businessman, so I'm going to give you a scenario. You know, it's kind of like corporate. Corporate, when you have a corporate or a public company, some private, they have the designations of leadership, you know. But then you go to a small business or entrepreneur, and then they have one person doing 7 things. So
That's
I'm a
right.
small business. So a lot of times people at work, they don't have just one role, they got multiple roles.
Sure.
Because the budget is not there.
That's right.
You know, the allocation is not there. So how do a small church that don't have the budget and don't have the resources, how do they establish that?
That's a good question, and it's almost virtually impossible to do so because, as you said before, we have to have resources.
Yeah.
And you know, in the black religious sector, you know, we have lack support in the area of evangelism. Churches don't see the necessity of having true, traveling evangelists.
Yeah.
You know, so therefore they really don't, put a lot of energy and money and resources into that area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. I feel like the church should have evangelists.
Sure.
Evangelists and evangelism.
Sure.
You know, and so I feel like that is one of the deficiencies, you know, in programs, especially small churches.
Right.
And so we really look for the members to be the evangelists,
Right.
rather than having a hired person in that's what they do to help.
That's right.
So like we talked about, you saying there's really no answer for no resource, huh?
I'm saying very limited. I'm saying very limited resources.
Okay.
Very, very limited. You know, at one time in the,
So what about the evangelist doing it for free?
Well, that's a hard road to hoe there, man.
That's
to
a
do it
hard
for-
road.
to do it for free. Because,
Live by faith.
No, well, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's such thing.
No such thing.
I don't think there's no such thing.
Oh. All right,
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people, they, when Jesus told them to send his disciples out, he said, don't take no script, don't take nothing with you. They gonna provide for you when you get out there. That's
Yeah.
a real step of faith to go.
That's a
But
step of faith.
when you don't have nothing and no promises,
Yeah.
you really depending on God.
Yeah, but then there were resources. During the Apostle Paul's time,
Yeah.
Paul said it himself. That if you preach the gospel,
Should live out of God.
You should live
That's good.
by the gospel.
That's good.
So
I'm with you.
yeah. So
He said, if I give you, spiritual thing, you should
right.
sow into me
That's
earthly
right.
thing.
That's right.
So yeah, I'm with you.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
that's good though. That's
That's
good.
right.
That's good. That's good.
So I've been a Baptist preacher all of my preaching career,
Okay.
and most of my involvement has been in the Baptist
Okay.
church, in Baptist circle. And at one time there was only one noted true Baptist evangelist,
Okay.
and but he was on the circuit for about 13, 14 years. But then all of a sudden he came off the scene and went and started pastoring a church. It was very difficult for him to survive as an
Right.
evangelist,
Survive.
traveling across the world,
Right.
depending on churches for sustenance and support.
Yeah, and if you got a
And-
family, that's
And
gonna-
you
that's
got a
hard.
family, it was different. But fortunately, he was single man at the time.
Yeah.
But when he got married, that's when he decided to come off the circuit and go and begin a pastorship.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a very difficult task.
Yeah. Well, Pastor Swain, we thank you.
Thank
Man,
you.
we thank you for
Thank
your
you.
wealth of knowledge, and we give you Godspeed, to your journey, and we glad to have you. Pastor Swain is going to bless us today with the message, with our hour of power. We looking forward and excited. Tune in with us on the preachersnetworkmedia.com, and we also have some T-shirts that we have created as a sponsorship, and they $30 to help with our Preachers Network. So God bless you. Thank you. God bless you.